3 years after, my sister defended my attacker. He struck again at her own wedding. Now she's divorced, in therapy, and drowning in guilt. The champagne hadn't even gone flat yet when the screaming started. White roses, crystal chandeliers, a string quartet still playing as security tackled the groom's brother near the dessert table. And somewhere in that chaos, my sister realized she had just married into the same nightmare I tried to warn her about for 3 years. She didn't believe me when I said he was dangerous. She called me jealous. By the end of the night, her fairy tale was in handcuffs. If you've ever been told to keep the peace while someone else destroyed yours, this story is for you. Hit like, subscribe, and get ready, because this isn't just about revenge. It's about what happens when the truth refuses to stay buried. I used to think betrayal felt sharp, like a knife. Turns out it's slower than that. It's sitting at a dinner table while your sister holds hands with the brother of the man who assaulted you and smiles like you're the unreasonable one. 3 years ago, Adrian, my sister Sophie's now ex-husband's brother, cornered me at a family party. He smelled like expensive cologne and entitlement. His hand slid where it didn't belong. When I froze, he smirked. "Relax," he whispered. "Don't make this awkward," I told Sophie. She didn't gasp. She didn't rage. She didn't even hesitate. She sighed. "Elena, you're overreacting. Adrian flirts with everyone." That was the first crack. The second came when she got engaged to Marcus, Adrian's older brother. I remember the night she told me. She was glowing, diamonds sparkling under the restaurant lights. "Isn't it romantic?" she asked. All I could see was Adrian's grin. I swallowed my nausea. "You know what he did." She stiffened. "You're still on that?" Still on that, as if trauma expired. 6 months before the wedding, Sophie invited me for coffee. She didn't order her usual caramel latte. She went straight to the point. "I want you to walk down the aisle," she said. I blinked. "With Dad?" "With Adrian." The air left my lungs. "He's Marcus's best man. It'll look odd if you refuse." I stared at her, waiting for the punchline. "And Daniel?" I asked, meaning my partner of 5 years, the man who sat with me during panic attacks and never once questioned my truth. Sophie didn't meet my eyes. We decided to keep it family only. Family only. But the man who violated me qualified. Daniel didn't. It wasn't just exclusion, it was erasure. My mother later called me dramatic. My father said, "Just walk, it's 5 minutes." 5 minutes holding the arm of a man who once pinned me against a wall. 5 minutes smiling for photos he'd probably save. When I refused, Sophie cried. Not because I was hurting, because I was ruining her big day. Soon relatives were texting, cousins saying I should forgive, an aunt implying I was jealous Sophie was settling down first. And then came the rumor. Apparently, I was bitter because Marcus used to flirt with me before choosing Sophie. That lie spread faster than the truth ever did. For years, I'd swallowed discomfort to keep peace. Birthdays, holidays, smiles stretched thin. But something inside me snapped. I wasn't going to sit in a ballroom pretending my silence was grace. So I didn't go. I woke up with a knot in my stomach anyway. Around 9:47 p.m., my phone exploded. Calls, texts, notifications. Daniel grabbed it first. His eyebrows rose. "Elena." There was a video circulating. White tablecloths, guests screaming, a young server backing away, tears streaking her mascara. And Adrian, drunk, furious, grabbing her wrist. She shoved him. He laughed. Security intervened. Someone yelled, "Call the police!" The bride, my sister, stood frozen, bouquet limp in her hand. The wedding didn't end with a kiss. It ended with flashing red and blue lights reflecting off the cake. Within days, more women came forward. A college intern, a neighbor, an ex-girlfriend who'd signed an NDA. The family money had buried it for years. Lawyers, settlements, silence. Instant Marcus issued a statement calling it misunderstandings. Sophie doubled down. "He's being targeted," she insisted over the phone, her voice trembling. "You're happy about this, aren't you?" Happy? I felt sick, but I also felt something else. Vindicated. Not because another woman was hurt, but because the truth was finally too loud to ignore. Then the police found something. Photos, hidden in a cloud folder Adrian shared with Marcus. Illicit photos of me, taken that night 3 years ago. My skin crawled when I heard. Sophie saw them too. That was the moment her denial shattered. Marcus hadn't just defended his brother. He'd helped hide evidence. The divorce filing was quiet. Therapy wasn't. Sophie called me once after she moved out. Her voice sounded smaller. "I knew," she whispered. Silence stretched between us. I knew he was capable, but I wanted the wedding, the house, the life, her fairy tale. And I thought if I just believed hard enough, it would go away. I didn't yell, didn't comfort her either. "Belief doesn't erase harm," I said softly. Adrian eventually took a plea deal. Probation, mandatory counseling, not prison. Some people said it wasn't enough. Maybe it wasn't. But his reputation was ashes. Business deals evaporated. Social circles closed ranks against him. For a man who thrived on image, that was its own prison. Months later, a letter arrived. Handwritten. Sophie admitted everything. She'd read my old messages again, noticed how precise they were, how consistent. She wrote, "I chose my fantasy over your safety. I betrayed you because it was easier than confronting the truth." I held the paper for a long time. My reply was 3 sentences. "I'm glad you're in therapy. I hope you heal. But forgiveness isn't something you're entitled to. Because here's the thing about revenge. Sometimes it isn't dramatic. Sometimes it's absence." I didn't scream at her wedding. I didn't expose them publicly. I simply refused to participate in my own gaslighting. And when the house of cards collapsed, I wasn't underneath it. The most satisfying moment wasn't the viral video. It wasn't the divorce announcement. It was quieter. A year later, Daniel and I stood in a backyard under soft string lights. 20 people, close friends, my brothers beside me. No chandeliers, no predators in tailored suits, just safety. As I walked down the grass aisle, I felt something I hadn't in years. Light. No one forced my arm into someone else's. No one told me to smile for appearances. When Daniel whispered, "You're safe," I believed him. And somewhere out there, Sophie was sitting in a therapist's office, untangling the wreckage of a dream built on denial. I didn't need her apology to move forward. Her consequences were already unfolding. That was enough. Sometimes revenge isn't destruction. It's refusal. Refusing to stay quiet. Refusing to stand beside someone who hurt you. Refusing to trade your dignity for family harmony. And when the truth finally rises, you won't be the one drowning in it. If this story hit you in the gut, let us know in the comments. Have you ever been told to keep the peace at your own expense? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more real, emotionally charged revenge stories. Because sometimes, the most powerful comeback is simply walking away